Good morning. Yeah, so let's me get to the button where I do the share content and we bring up the screen. Maybe towards the end, because we're going to jump back into Teams towards the end, because towards the end of it, we are going to look at how this stream features works in Microsoft Teams. We might just mention a few of the new features that are happening in Teams as well, because stuff is happening all the time in Microsoft Teams and in all of the other areas for it. Can just, Richard, someone just confirm that you can see my screen now? Yeah?
Yeah.
No problem. So Microsoft Stream is obviously part of the 365 platform. You get it as part of your license, whether you're on one of the basic licenses or whether you're in the enterprise license. It comes for everyone. To get to it, you just go to your normal Microsoft Office.com login. So when you log into Office.com, if it doesn't come up, because I've now put all of the apps down the left-hand side, like here, I've got it like so this, you can choose to see all apps, and you can scroll down and it's Stream. Microsoft used to have a thing called Video and they've moved it across the Stream. We got somebody waiting in the lobby, so I will quickly jump back on here and I thought there was somebody, yes, I will let Helen in.
Is that what it should be like?
Good morning, Helen. We're jumping in. We've just started in talking about how to get onto Microsoft Stream. So here we are on the Stream part of it. We go to here, we go to Stream. They used to have a thing called Video. When Stream comes up, it comes up like this. You might have nothing in here. If not, if you've got some videos in here, it actually can say what you've got as trending videos. Now with trending videos, that will show stuff that's been watched multiple times. So what we'll do here as well is if people want to mute their mic, sorry, we'll just do a bit of housekeeping, or I can see if, hello, Helen. Yeah, if we've got mics mute, then we won't get any feedback on it. So we got trending here, we got home, discover, content, create. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the few of these options here. We're going to have a look at creating content. We're going to have a look at how you create channels, how you create groups, and then how you link this and do other things with it. So one of the first ways that you can create content, if we do create, is you can upload videos straight to it. So under the create menu, you've got upload video, you've got group, you've got channel, and you've got record screen. Record screen is quite a new one that they brought in, and I'll touch on that later on as well. If you have a Microsoft Teams Live license, which is an additional license, you also have the option here to create a live event. That only comes up if you've purchased that additional license, and it comes as part of, I think it's E3 and E5 packages with Microsoft 365, or you purchase a separate license for it. The difference between a normal Teams event and a live event is a live event's a webinar that can have up to, I think it's 20,000 with the option to go up to 100,000 people attending a live webinar. So that's not really something that any of us are probably going to be launching and running. Maybe it is in the next couple of months, Rich, but that is an option usually. If you've got the live event thing, you've got the option here to create a live event. So let's just have a look at the upload video first. If we click upload video, we get this option here. Now, if you're used to using OneDrive, if you're used to using SharePoint, if you're used to using any of these sort of environments, you know that you can click here or browse to upload a file. But more likely these days, the easiest way to do it is to grab a couple of videos or grab a video file that you've got and just drag and drop them into the window. And in the meantime, it should immediately start uploading these videos. Why did it not work? Let's try that again. Take one at a time. Copy. There we go. There's the first one coming. I don't know why it didn't happen before. Copy again. And suddenly we should have an environment where here it's uploading the videos. Now, while they're uploading, you can start playing with them. This is why I'm recording this, because you can go back over it. I've deliberately done a couple of short videos, couple of minute videos, 5-minute videos of training sessions that we created. You can upload batches at a time, and while they're uploading, you can do things like put a name on it. You can put a description in it. So I'm just going to put in Teams Training Part 1. I'm going to just copy that across to the other one and change it to Teams Training Part 2. You can even, and this is quite useful, you can even use hashtags with it. So if I go Teams and I go #training, Microsoft 365, that's more internally. But that means if anyone in your organization looks for Teams when they're searching through all of Microsoft 365, or they look for training, or they look for 365 or anything like that, it automatically brings these up as well as options. Now, you can let this run in the background. What actually happens is when it finishes processing all the videos, it'll actually email you to tell you that it's done. If it's a longer video, it can take some time. Here we've got, it's automatically detected a video language. You can change that if you want, if it need to. It shows you the thumbnails. You can choose to have a different thumbnail as a start. So if you have an image which is a splash screen for, say, your training, so say you've got an organizational logo and a title for all of these training videos, you can press the plus button and you can then add in your own main image for that, so that your main image to show up when it comes up on the stream comes up automatically. Under permissions is where we start to give permissions for people to actually play with these videos and watch them. By default, when you upload a new video to stream using this method, it allows everyone in your organization to view the video. So you can turn that off. Now, if it's training videos within your organization, you probably do want to give everybody access to it, or potentially in groups. But it may well be if it's a meeting that you've recorded. Well, actually, I'll correct that. If you've done a Teams meeting and it uploads the stream, and I'll explain more about that later, it's only available for the people who were in the Teams meeting, or only available to the people in the channel of the Teams meeting. So you do have a ways round of who can see what video. So if you're doing training ones and only certain people can see it, if you're doing meeting ones that you've recorded and want to upload, only certain people can see it, you can do all of that. I can add people. So if I uncheck that, it warns me. I can do that. I can add people, I can add groups, and I can add channels. So if I added Andy, I'm giving Andy the permission to view this video. So I can search for him. He's my boss within the organization, and I can either let him be display only, or I can make him owner. If Andy's an owner, he can then download it, he can edit it, he can replace it, he can tweak it. That's all the sort of things. So I'm not going to give Andy ownership, I'm just going to do that. I can actually add it to groups. So what I can do is I can say demo team. I've got a team set up with Microsoft, and I can set up a demo team, and there we go. I can put it into Teams training, and that is now been added to Teams training groups. So we can do it by groups, we can do it by people, and we can do it by channel. And we'll talk about creating channels shortly. Pop down to options, and we get a few other ones. Do I want to actually turn on or off comments? So do I want people to be able to add comments underneath it like they would do on Facebook or LinkedIn or something like that? Or do I want to turn that feature off? This is a new thing, noise suppression. So it's a new feature that they've added into Teams and Teams recordings, which is done on stream, and it actually takes background noise and focuses entirely on voice. So if you've got a video that's being recorded in a noisy area or on a Teams call or something like that, or even on a Zoom call, and you want to try to suppress the background noise, turn that on. It auto-generates a caption file. Now, the caption file is auto-generated in English or Spanish at the minute, is the only two. So I'm not going to uncheck that. I'll come back to that and show you some stuff in a little minute on that. And I'm going to hit the publish button for that one. That one's now published. And I'm just going to skip everything else and I'm going to hit publish for that one. I now have 2 new videos on here. So I'm going to go back to home. And from home, I could look at what new content are. I can look down here, channels, recordings, popular stuff. But if I want to look, I can discover videos. I can look at my content. So my groups, my channels, my meetings, my watch list. So I'm just going to go to my videos. And these are the ones that I uploaded. Now, generally, everybody in your organization can upload. And here in this menu, we've got all of the options. We've got videos, groups, channels, meetings. Groups are Microsoft 365 groups. So that's been created through Teams, that's been created through SharePoint sites, that's been created through other things. All of those are groups, Microsoft groups. You can create groups inside here. So if you need to create a new group and add people to it to allow them to view your training videos, you can do that from here. That creates a group that can be used in SharePoint and also in Planner and also in Teams. We create channels, which we'll talk about in a minute, and basically that's collections of videos. So here we go. We've got the two ones that I've just uploaded, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. We've got the previous one from a demo and discussion from Power Apps, a demo and discussion that I did for someone. And if I go back here, we've got our forms session. So that's one we did a couple of weeks ago on forms. And what I did with that is when I finished with it, I downloaded it and sent it to Rich. But if I look at any of these, I can view them. I can play it, I can watch it. And if you do it in here, you've got your watching of it and it would start to play. And what we've got the ability to do is we've got the ability to pause it. You've got the ability to turn on captions. You've got the ability to comment on it. Now, because I'm the owner of this video, I get this over here. But otherwise, it'll just start to play. Now,
hello, my name's Viv.
There we go. That's that one. So we can actually comment on it. We can add it to watch list. We can share it. We can like it. We can do other things with it. Because I am in charge of it, under this menu, I've got other options. And because I'm an owner, I can do things like replace it, trim it, so you make it shorter, update the video details, so that's the title, the hashtags, who's it shared with, add to a group or channel, and see where it's going to. I can also replace it and download it. So all of those actions are available to me. For some other people, some of these actions would not be available. Over here is the transcript. So it auto close captions it, so I can turn the closed captions on and turn off captions. I can look at the settings. I can put it into full theater mode. I can extend it to my screen. Obviously, Microsoft, when they do the captions, they're doing voice and voice to text recognition. In this case, it's not perfect. For example, it has picked up my name as Fifth rather than Viv. But because I'm in charge of it, if you really want your transcripts and your captions to be very good, we can go along to edit and we can change it. Along here, I can actually change the captions. I can save those, and then that becomes the new captions. So,
and I'm going to be your trainer for this session.
As you can see,
this is the introduction to Teams. It's the first one of 5 sessions that we're going to do, and in this session, we're going.
And then let it pause. But that just shows you, while it does that, I might have to close it if it doesn't decide to play right. While it does that, yeah, that's fine. It'll edit that, it'll update it, it'll show the proper captions in a minute, and I can then go through the whole caption file and I can update that. You can upload your own caption file, but it's probably just as easy to go through this caption file and edit it and tweak it and change it. And I've done this in quite a few videos that are actually professional ones that we're actually turning onto sites and showing people how to do that. We'll come back to this interactivity shortly. I want to get through a few other things. So I'm just going to I'm going to open this and I'm going to create a new channel. So I've opened it in a new tab because what I want to get through is show you a couple of things here, and I want to then show you the integration of this with a few of the other Microsoft 365 features. When you create a new channel, you do have the ability with a new channel. I opened entirely the whole thing, and I'll need to go to create again. So if I create a channel, it gives me the ability to create a group of videos together, which then I can then post through to a SharePoint site, or I can post through to a Teams area. So that is a really useful thing to do. So it collects my ones together. And when I create it, I don't know why it's running a little bit slow today, but let's just wait for it a second. There we go. We get a channel name, again, a channel description. So the channel description can have tags on it, that sort of thing again. And then who can access it? For example, do I want it a group? So only, say, for example, a SharePoint site, or only, for example, a Teams group, or do I want everybody in the organization to get it? So if you've got training topics, if you've got a group of videos about something, you can actually put them in a channel together, make them available company-wide, and then people can find them, but they're all collated together. You can also put a custom image on here, so each channel has a nice little group of images with it. When you've done that, you can then add.
My name's Viv.
Then what you can do is you can add these to, when we go in, we can add them to channels, add to a group or add to a channel. So once you've done that, you can do that. So if I have a look back here and look at my content, if I go to my channels, I've got a couple of channels that I've set up already. One of them, only one here, and Teams training. It doesn't have a description. I should have given a description. I could follow. There's 5 videos in it, and I can edit it. I can delete that. I can open it. I can share it. So I can decide what to do with a channel, and that's rather useful as well. So that's got 5 videos in it. You can search by trending. The only thing, by the way, if you want to actually create an order, edit the default order, you actually have to be able to, it says it by trending. It doesn't give you the ability to do it by alphabetical or name or anything like that. So what you need to do, if you want to have the videos watched in a very specific order, you would need to go in and rename them as 01 dot, 02 dot, 03 dot, so that then Microsoft will do them in actual order. So that's the only little thing about that. Okay, so what we've done is we've uploaded videos. We've also then looked at how we publish them, how we do things to them. A couple more things on here before then jump into Teams and SharePoint. If I go back to here and we've got the interactivity in the transcript, this is one of the ways that it interacts. I can add a form to this. So this is one of the great things about potentially using this for a training tool within your organization. If I add a form, I get the option from Microsoft to take a form, right? So I'm going to go across the forms. I created one earlier by chat with some questions on it. It's a knowledge check, part 1 of the Teams training knowledge check. I've put 4 questions on it, 3 questions on it, and a little did you like the content, right? That's great. I've got that. Now, if you do want to know more about forms, on Affinity's YouTube site, there's a 30-minute video that we've done previously on forms. So I'm just going to get the link for that form. And I'm going to take that link and I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to call it knowledge check. Now, where do I want it on the timeline? So move the timeline slider for where I want it. So say, for example, I wanted it in at the very end. Then as it comes to the end of the video, 5:34, it pops up. This form will pop out of the video, and it will automatically then do this. You could have this at 2 or 3 points. You could have different knowledge checks, different checks at different stages using your Microsoft forms. And obviously with this one, I've got it as an internal form, so it's internally organization. It pops up, people fill it in, and it automatically feeds back to the manager. And there's lots of things you can do with forms. And literally that, if I went back here and started playing it, it's going to then pop up at a certain point and the form will pop out. I've just muted it. Let's see if this runs. There we go. It should pop up a form. There we go. We fill in the form and it finishes back. So I've asked 4 questions. How do you create a multi-line message? When you attach a file to a chat, where is it stored? When adding someone to an already group chat, what happens? And I've heard something new. Content was a good pace. So because it's in a smaller window, it's done these as those buttons. If it was a full screen window, it would do it. And then when it's done and submitted, it goes back to the video. So you can add content at various stages using Microsoft Forms, and then that gets published. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this video, because I'm going to take this video. I'll come back into stream in a second, and I want to add this into my Microsoft Teams. So if I'm working in Teams, and I'm going to go to Teams here, there is a tab. I've called this new in here. You can add any tab you want to Teams, one of them being Stream. The ones at the top are usually Microsoft. As you go further down, you can actually look at other things. You can even add YouTube videos and various things to Teams. With this, I'm going to add in Stream. Can't see it on the screen. I don't know why. So I'm just going to search for it. There we go. Usually it's up at the top. Maybe I missed it. And it says you can post in a video, or you can post in a channel. So first I'm going to start by posting in a video. Where we go, search or paste the link. So I could search, or I can take a video and I can just take the link directly. Searches in my organization. I'm going to take that one, give it a name, and I'm going to hit save. That then becomes a tab at the top, and then that becomes available within my Teams for people to be able to look at this video, watch this video, and even from within Teams, at that point of 5:34 in this video, it would actually pop up the form for people to fill in. Let's just quickly do that again to give you an idea of what else can be done with it. There it is at the top again. I'll do that, pop back over, and we had this Teams training one. I just take the channel name, go back to Teams, copy it across, and I can put a whole channel into here as well. So if I put the channel in here, it says which one and where's it need to go, and we go save. And so that then becomes a channel of 5 videos in here. Now, Microsoft have provided an app for it as well. So these are available on phones and tablets, whether it's Apple or Android devices. So that's, there's all the 5 videos, so you can put them together in groups. And here you can see your videos if you add it as a personal one. Everything that you record in Teams goes through to Microsoft Stream. Let me show you this, because if I go back to one of the previous one, and he's got the links to the forums. So we go to the forums session. When I recorded that forum session, it put it back here. It recorded it by Teams and put it back in here. Now, I'm going to talk to you about some of the issues around it in a second. I know we've got a few minutes left, but it uses Microsoft Stream to record things. So if I go up here and I go to my content and I go to meetings, all of those meetings are here. A few last bits when we're here. One of the things to talk about when you do meetings or any of these other ones. So let's go down to the forum session. I will open it up. It auto close captions it in the background and stream. But one of the things that you can do as well, we see it's limited, so there's only certain people can see it. But if I go in and change the settings on this, one of the things that you can do, if I go to update the video details, it brings me into this menu. This is how you change it post. Even if you've already published it, you can go in and change the name, the description, again, the language. We saw this when we first uploaded a video. We can add a thumbnail. We can decide who can view the video and are they owner or just normal, and whether we allow comments, generate a caption file. But here's an interesting one. You can actually download the caption file. So the caption file gets downloaded. And Microsoft, if you search on Google, they've got a little, somebody's designed a little thing to take out all of the gunk, all the background noise of what point in the video you're at and how accurate the translation or the voice to text is. And you can actually get a transcript of your meeting. Now, let me be clear as well with that. Microsoft are bringing into Teams in the next month or so, when you record something through Teams, it will actually bring back the video and the transcript file. An actual cleaned up transcript of the chat, the same sort of voice to text as it's doing here. So that is coming to be default, but at the minute you have to manually do it. Last couple of things here, one thing here, and then go back to the other one. If you record screen, the only issue I have with record screen is that it's a 15-minute time limit. I'm not going to let it use my microphone and camera at the minute, because if it does that, I'm not able to talk to you guys. But if I record, it's a 15-minute limit, and the only thing that I have as an issue with this is that it doesn't actually follow your cursor in the same way. So obviously, if you click on something, somebody sees it as clicked, but if you need to hover over something and show where the cursor is, currently it doesn't show where the cursor is. But it's a free video recording option from Microsoft on, you can show steps through a process, you can record what you're doing and ask people to copy it. If I'm on a SharePoint site and I want to add a new page to this with information on it, so I'm going to add a new page, and this is, say, my training site or something else on SharePoint. When I add something new, I'm going to go for a blank one, create a page, and from that I can link to Stream as well. So while we wait for that to happen, you can give it a name the page, so we can go for training session, whatever I want to do. And then when I press this little plus button, I'm adding a new web part. And one of the new web parts, one of the web parts that I can use is Microsoft Stream. So again, I can add in individual videos, or I can add in channels straight into here. So I could actually have a training site, and on the training site, I can have that. Do I want all of Stream? Do I want a single video, or do I want this channel? And I can sort by certain things. So I can put in various sets of channels of streams into my SharePoint site as well. Now, just back last things to talk about then. So we can connect it in to Microsoft Teams. We can connect it into SharePoint. We can connect it to other things. One of the issues currently with Stream is that you cannot share it externally. And that becomes an issue for some people, and it becomes an issue if you're wanting external people. Even if it's in Teams, it will not be able to be shared externally. It's great then. So, for example, with Rich here, what we'll have to do with this video is record this, put it up onto the stream. I'll have to download it. I will put it on my OneDrive, and I will share that out with Rich. By the end of the year, they're actually adding in the ability to share individual files out to people. So that means it may well not be that you're allowed to do it a public open. So it's not that you're able to put a video on stream and then have it hosted on your website, but you'll be able to send it to groups of people and individual people outside your organization. And if people are in Teams in a group, in a meeting, they'll be able to download or view the video through Teams. That's coming in the next couple of months. It's something that people have been asking for a lot. So that is one of the problems or one of the limitations of Stream. And the last thing to say is that if you're concerned about the space that it takes, Microsoft Stream gives you 500 gigabyte space for videos, and it only counts videos, not the transcript files, not the comments, not everything else. Plus, I think it's 5 gig for every user. So I think if you had another 100 users on your tenancy, you'd have a terabyte, and you can request more space. And sometimes Microsoft, I believe, give that space extra automatically. Or you actually may have to pay a little bit for more space. It does not take up the space that you use in your SharePoint. So this is rather good if it is primarily internal, and even then if you move to the point that Microsoft allow you to share external, because obviously with SharePoint you get 1 terabyte plus more per user for your SharePoint storage, and you would rather not be using your SharePoint or your OneDrive storage to store videos. If Stream can give you 500 gig and more, this is a really good tool to be able to have. It's separate storage and it comes default as part of Stream. Now I'm just going to pop back on here to say hello again to see if there's any other questions. I'm on, by the way, I'm on the new version of Teams, and the way you view the videos here, it's a separate window that pops out. As I said, when you record, it comes back into it. You got the new large gallery for when you go above 9 people. And as I said, in the next couple of months, it's coming in to give us the ability to, with Stream, for people to have them shared out. And the last thing to notice is yesterday, this came on. One of the things in Teams that's slightly irritating as well is when you go to do new conversations and people don't know whether they should hit reply or start a new chat. New conversations now, a new big button to say I'm starting a new conversation rather than not replying to a previous one. So it's just something that, again, people have been asking for. Microsoft are constantly developing Teams, and that's something that I've noticed because a lot of people in organizations end up starting a new conversation instead of replying.